Deanna is with us in Lexington. Hey, Deanna, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Dave and Chris?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
My husband and I, we are investors. We own our home. We're out of debt. We have 403Bs, both at work, and I have a Roth IRA. He has a traditional RIA. But the sweet man insists on having quite a large stash of cash in the garage.
What's your street address? How much has he got in the garage?
Approaching 50,000.
Holy! Do you have a safe?
No. Well, no, but that's why. And so I've talked to him. He knows about, inflation and your money. He wants to put it in a pickle jar and bury it in the ground so that fire doesn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He just feels. I guess he just feels more comfortable with that money in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to be able to present to him some more reasons besides inflation to, change his mind a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Well, Deanna, I can understand his point where he wants to have that safety net and that feeling of having some money around.
How old is he?
57.
Okay.
So here's what I would do. I would talk to him about, number one, you hit on something, the potential of a fire at the home. And the loss of that money. The inflation, I love that you mentioned that because you and I know that money just sitting there and buried in the ground, that $50,000 will look more like $25,000 here in about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so in looking at that, I think he's trying to have some security. So there's a couple of ways he could do that. Maybe he could keep $5,000 in a safe. We need to get a safe. More importantly, and let's take the other $45,000 and let's go take it in the bank, and he can keep his bank statement with him at all times and kind of look at that and go visit it on the weekends if he wants. But let's get it out of there just because it's risk. And I think the inflation side of things, that you're losing money each day that it's sitting there.
Let me give you a really sad story. I actually had a caller several years ago. Blake's reminded me of it. He's in there working as a producer right now. A guy buried $25,000 in cash in a coffee can in his backyard. And what you don't know about paper is it disintegrates. And the money just disintegrated. It became dirt.
Oh, my.
When they dug it up, it wasn't even enough showing to turn it in for other money. He lost all the money. Oh, and let's go ahead and add this up for a second, okay? If you put $50,000 in a mutual fund, and if the mutual fund averaged 12% at 57 years old, at 77 years old, you'd have $540,000 in there. This is a $490,000 pile of stupid.
I know.
Does he know?
You want to write those numbers down? At 77, you'd have $540,000 if you never added anything to this account. And so it's costing him
and how much?
$540,000 is what $50,000 turns into if you put it in a mutual fund and leave it alone for 20 years. A good mutual fund that's making good money, okay?
Right.
Not just any mutual fund. But, I mean, if he made 12% on your money, that's what it'd be. If he makes less, it'd be less. But the point still is this is a $400,000+ mistake.
Right.
And I don't think you got an extra $400,000 to throw around?
No.
Okay. If you do, then this is okay. But you're not only going to end up losing the $50,000 if you bury it in the backyard, or if the house burns, or when a burglar goes through your garage, one of the three, or the dog gets in it. Who knows? I mean, you're going to end up losing this money. If you had a really good safe, I'd feel better. But you still have that missed opportunity cost on what that money would grow to. And that's the downside of this. How much is in your all's total nest egg today?
We're approaching $600,000 with our retirement, and then our home is worth about $200,000.
Yeah. Okay. If he wants to keep a strong cash stash at that level, you can afford to do it. Not $50,000 though. I wouldn't suggest that at your all's level. No. But $10,000 or something in a really nice safe. I'm not going to gripe at him too much about that. That's going to give him a comfort level. But $50,000 in the garage has stupid on it at three or four different levels.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's really irresponsible. Another way to ask him is this. I'm just making this up as I go, you can tell, but ask him if he owned money and he gave it to someone to manage for him, and that's what they did with it. How would he feel about that? Because you're actually managing this money for God, right?
Right.
Yeah. And
right.
if you read the parable of the talents, the guy buried it in the backyard, didn't come out real good.
No.
You know?
You are correct.
So I would dig that one up too. You know, throw a little Bible in there just for the fun of it. But you know, if you were you're managing money for God. So if you gave someone $50,000 of your money to manage and they kept it in the garage and didn't invest it, how would you feel about it? I mean, God can't be like thrilled about this. It's not very responsible.
No.
So
and for you to,
I'm like Chris. I get why he's doing it because I'm an old redneck. We old rednecks, we like having some cash around, you know.
Yeah, but he's got a little bit too much. You know, just a touch.
Not his neck.
Yeah,
but it's not too red.
Yeah,
but
that's beyond
too
mad
much
money.
cash.
Yeah. So let's be smart with it. Let's protect that. I like what you said, Dave. There's nothing wrong with keeping some money outside because they obviously have done things the right way. I mean, they're approaching $1 million net worth, and if he were to put 45 of that into a growth stock mutual fund, like you mentioned, he's going to be well over $1 million in time. So let's let the money work for you. You worked hard for it. Let's be smart and protect it.
Yeah, that's just. And listen to your wife. She's smart. Oh my goodness. You know, spouses really do enter into this equation on retirement in general.
You really do.
And when you're doing this stuff at the SMART conference, it comes up, doesn't it?
It really does. I think when we start to look at this, I want to encourage people out there to think of your home as a home team. Everybody has a role. Everybody has a position to play in that team being successful. And with the team, we're talking about your family. And when you look at things through the family filter, what I want you to do is to do everything you can in the best interest of the family. And that means husbands and wives working together. And if you're single, you find an accountability partner. And if you're newly single, you find an accountability partner, somebody that cares enough and loves you enough and wants you to be successful. But we got to play our role. And you got to, above all, stay in your lane. Do the things you're designed to do. But please work together. Talk about this. Your retirement dream should unite you. It should inspire you to move forward because I know you can do it.
Go to ChrisHogan360.com and look at the RIQ, your Retire Inspired Quotient, your retirement IQ. You need to know what your number is, and once you know what your number is, then you can get on track to getting there. Chris can show you how. You can follow him on Facebook and Twitter at ChrisHogan360. Chris, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show.